All right, guys, back for another interview here at the IHSBCA Coaches Convention. Talking coaches throughout the state. Got Austin Stout with me, head coach, Yorktown Tigers. Guy that, I don't know if you know this, followed you from afar. I played for the Prospects when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. You guys were coming through your Prospects groups, tons of talent. So I remember seeing you, kind of seeing that you as that guy of like, oh, okay, like this is what I'm kind of working towards. Really cool to see come full circle now. What you do with the Prospects, what you're doing at Yorktown. Thanks for stopping by, talking to me a little bit.
Heck yeah, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to talk about this group for this year. Team with talent in multiple areas.
Mm-hmm.
Want to start with what you got going in the middle of the infield. Okay, to me, on paper, it looks like the biggest strength you have. Caden Crooms, Reed Turner. I would put those two up defensively with any middle infield in the state. Talk about those guys. Talk about how important they are to your group.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. I know that's biased as a coach, and let's say that, but yeah, I mean they're two. They're the head of the snake. I mean, Reed Turner is one of the best defensive players, regardless of class. I think in the state of Indiana, if you get a chance to go watch him, I know you have, but anybody gets a chance to go watch him take infield before a game. I mean, it is a thing of beauty. So, adding him, Caden Crooms to the mix, both two very athletic and versatile pieces that could flip flop if they really wanted to. It's huge for us to have somebody because they're incredible going left to right and keeping the ball in the infield and making plays. And as you know, for a pitcher, somebody that takes a few hits away in a game by making plays in a hole, that's huge for him. So
100%. And that's what you talk about watching Reed take infield. That's really where I fell in love with him last year. Came and watched you guys play against Wapahani, and it was, I got there early. It was a really cool park. I hadn't been there before. Sat there, watched you guys take infield. And I'm like, man, like this is how it's supposed to be done, right? Feet play on time, light footed. Can really get the ball out of the hand. And another thing that I really like about watching Reed is like, you look at showcase metrics and it's like there are guys that pick up the ball and they shuffle, crow hop, bam, rip it across and it says what 92. Reed's not that guy that's going to blow you away with just pure arm strength. But gosh dang, every single throw is on the money and he can really carry the baseball. It's only going to make your pitching staff better. And that's what I want to get to next, kind of talk about pitching staff. Sam Tokar is a guy that I love. He is awesome kid. Getting a chance to see him kind of grow up, mature, come into his own really last summer. Is he a guy that you expect take a step up and take the ball for you in impactful moments this spring?
yeah, I mean he's going to have to. There's no question about it. You need your core vets to be your core vets. He is certainly that in terms of his talent. So yeah, I mean last year he threw 8 innings. A lot of that had to do with being hurt. But I think that we expect him to have a major, major jump. Having somebody like him that we can get, 4 to 5 innings out of, a conference or what sectional. I mean, that's huge for public high school for pitching and the depth and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Consistency is going to be his next step, but as far as this, his future in the game is very bright for the things that he does at the level he does, and he's very new to it as well.
100%. And that's what I look at it from the evaluation side. We're talking about 6'3" kid that he could reclass to 2028 and nobody would bat an eye. He'd actually be fairly even age for that group. On top of the arm action, the ability to get swing and miss with a fastball, a lot of things to like with him. I know Palmer Jones is another guy I think of off the top of my head that is another arm that's going to be impactful for you. Talk to me a little bit about him and maybe a couple other arms you think could give you some big time innings this spring.
Yeah, Palmer threw a bunch of innings for us last year, and he's going to have to do the same thing too. I'm very excited to have potential of Sam and him going for conference games because I think being able to flip it, a guy that throws really hard right-handed, and going to a guy that velocity is not Palmer's thing as of right now. I think when he gains some more weight, it's going to be, but to have him flip it around, be a lefty that can throw backwards and counts and stuff like that, I think that's going to be an incredible head of the snake. So, and he's been awesome too as a leader through our winter workouts. I mean, he's been awesome. He's been committed to it, and I'll go to say is I expect him to be able to swing it a little bit for us as well. I think people will be surprised. He's gotten much better than what he even was his freshman year at it. So, nice. But no doubt about it, pitching's going to be his thing.
Yeah. Well, and I talked about the strength of the offensive group being what you can do up the middle. Also think about you got Witt in center field. Think Off the top of my head, I'm thinking Sam can swing it a little bit. Blake McKibben's a guy that came to our fall state game, showed
Yep.
some thump. Those guys, talk a little bit about what you expect of them, and maybe even some other guys that I didn't mention that you think could step in and have a big impact offensively.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to drive in a lot of runs. I think last year one of the major hurdles they had was, the bottom of our lineup didn't do a lot of getting on base. So, I think that when we get those guys that buy into the role and let Caden and Sam and Reed and Blake and all the Palmer for that matter as well hit with guys on base, as you know, that's a much better position for an offensive player to be. So, they're going to have to take the next step without question for us to have a good season. I think they will for sure. They've improved a great deal. So,
And you guys return catcher as well?
we do not, but we do have one that I believe is going to be very talented in Cooper Lazatter, who
Okay. I was going to say, he caught the night that
he
I
was there,
saw.
yeah.
And so I think of that of like, you got two guys you can trust on the mound. You play defense up the middle, and you guys have some thump in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
I think Yorktown could be a team that could really surprise some people this year, and I'm excited to kind of follow your group this year. So I want to wish you the best of luck this year. Thank you for stopping by and talking a little bit about your group.
Right on, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate it. Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
man.